We're very good, very good.
Excited to be here?
Very excited, actually.
I remember a shy little girl, I don't
Terrified.
know, 5 or 6 years ago, joined Platinum, made you stand on stage, and you hated me.
I didn't hate you, I was terrified of you.
Terrified of me.
Terrified is the only word.
There you go. So let's explore your story. Yeah?
Yes.
Morning, everybody. Who's excited? Fantastic.
So, when did all this start for you? Give us a little bit on your background.
Oh, background. Well, basically, I'm actually a tennis coach. So I have worked in my passion for years. Greg was in the car industry, which is his passion, which is also a little bit naughty because he likes to invest in cars.
It's not investing.
Oh.
Let us just get that straight right from the outset.
First time I
Greg?
met Deb, the first time she said, get rid of your toys.
So anyway, I always wanted Greg to work in what he wanted to do, which he loved cars, but his other one was property. And so our story starts back quite some time ago. Who remembers 17% interest rates? Yep, that's when we bought our first property. Anyone know about gazumping laws? Yep, we got gazumped. So, you know, we always knew property is something that was exciting. We didn't know much about how we were actually going to get involved in it. But we started, we had our first go, and yeah, you can tell that because you know all about the numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. Karen's really good at it, explaining the story. I'm more the numbers person, so
Yeah, I'm good at
I'll
talking.
help out a little bit here. But she is really
Everyone
good at it.
has
She
their
underestimates herself. Right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'll say with this beautiful lady here that's influenced everybody in this room is the fact that it gives people confidence. And I've seen my beautiful partner for 31 years grow. And that's another aspect of not only about property, it's about people changing.
Yep.
And if you don't look at changing anything, nothing's going to change. So, yeah, look, we started back investing with our own PPRs in some properties back in the 90s, and then in the later 90s, and had some properties that were, as Dipner has just spoken about, negative geared count. You know, working in high corporate roles. You know, how can you minimise tax? All of those different things you're trying to do, and you think.
But that's what you told it.
Absolutely. Like you're in to get income.
Yep.
But you're still accountable to a boss, and you've got no choices. Who would like to have the opportunity to have choices to do what they want when they want, and having your own time to be able to do that? Anybody?
Everybody.
Thank
Absolutely.
goodness I saw the hands all go up. I'm thinking everyone's just, don't be scared to put your hand
absolutely.
up, everybody. Put them up, put them up. I want.
I was in the corporate world at a senior level in the motor industry, travelling around the world. Missed my daughter's first day at school, which is something I was shattered because I was being controlled by a CEO and says, you have to be there.
Yep.
And that's where you start to realise where your life is being dictated when somebody else is controlling what you're doing from that perspective. So we went into our investing. It was okay and so forth. And then, as Dipner touched on.
So you had a few negatively geared properties, you'd accumulated a bit, you'd done a few house and land packages, things like that. You hadn't gone, hugely wrong, but you weren't really getting ahead from my memory.
No, absolutely. Look, what we did, it allowed us to be able, because we actually then moved into them, and we used our tax leveraging, right? Yep. Which gives us in the position to move to the point of view that, and Dipner says this all the time, ladies, forget about your PPR dream home. Well, we did that, right?
Yeah.
However, it allowed us to get to that point, at that point where we were.
Yep, and you had your dream home.
Absolutely.
And your toys.
Yes.
And we still got it.
Yeah,
and you were negatively geared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And look, we've had some knocks, big knocks, from being involved with leaving the corporate world in businesses through greed of others trying to take advantage of things. Let me ask a question. Who in the room has had that kind of experience?
We're all...
Well, everybody has their knocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey?
And it doesn't matter what level you are, it's how you respond to that and whether you actually move forward. So,
Well, I'm actually going to stop you here because I actually want to highlight this. When you have been badly taken by people, we'll call them sharks, when you have belief in people like we did, we just presumed everybody did what they said and were nice people. That's how I was brought up. I didn't think there was bad people out there. I just thought the whole world was great. But even when you have one of your closest friends take you for money, it is a very hard thing to swallow. And that's when I nearly lost our dream home. And it was hard on Greg and me, and all we could do was just keep fighting to keep it and just keep doing everything we possibly could. And unfortunately, it affects your family. Our daughter lived through it, but she saw one thing in there, which was the fight to stay with your head above board. And, you know, my little tennis business that I have kept us to eat. We couldn't do anything else with it, but it kept us eating. So we lost trust in people. And we said from that day onwards, it's just us and nobody will ever be involved in business with us again. We were shut down and we only ever had the fight with each other, and we only believed in each other. And then we met Dibna.
Yeah, so let's fast forward that. Yeah.
No, well, yep. It's a big thing because...
I hope I restored your trust in humanity.
You have, because Dibna sat down with us and said, you will trust people again. And I went, I was scared. Anything. I said, no, I won't. I will not.
And just to say that was January 2015. We'd already joined you in 2014. And when we had joined Platinum, we were doing that get-together. And then it was this conference that same year, 6 months later. And
in Melbourne?
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
So we took all the family and everybody that got involved. And that's the thing, we've been able to help our family and friends.
Yeah, that's right.
And we went off the grid for 15 months, and then everybody said, what are you guys doing? And our daughter...
Party Central? This is Party Central?
We were Party Central, and her, Cassandra and her partner, Jarrod, said, look, your mum and dad are changing. Like, what are they, into drugs or something? Or whatnot? But, no, they knew we were in property, but they could see a change in us because we were already in doing deals again before we met Dibna. But we were doing everything wrong that everybody did. We didn't have asset protection. We weren't doing manufacturing growth. We weren't doing those strategies. Well, that's a different situation. So the 23rd of August 2014 was the day it changed our life. And you can tell this bit.
Well, yes, we're sitting in the one-dayer, and now you've got to understand where we're coming from. Businessman, high level in the corporate world, understands finances and everything. Then there's me. One love, tennis, and I'm a mum. And all I was interested in was family and, you know, just doing everything you had to do. I love cooking too. And, and we're sitting there, and we'd been to 3 other people. We were looking for something. We were looking for a vision because we knew property doesn't keep going up. How do you make money when the market drops? Oh, you get out of it and you go into your own business and lose everything and then start over again. That was our story.
Whoa, some black attitude happening here.
So, anyway, we're sitting there and I looked at Greg and I said after an hour, now I don't do anything fast, I'm a turtle, I'm slow and steady. I said, whatever she's selling, we're in. So we got to the first break and I said to Greg, yep, we'll sign up for the first... Ultimate, thank you. No, it was Ultimate. And then by after lunch, it was Quantum. Yep, I'm into Quantum.
That's right, I'll stand corrected.
And Greg's going, are you serious? You want to spend that kind of money? Yep, we don't have it, but we'll find it. Yep, let's do it. And I said, now we're having lunch. And we're in the same place, sitting next to each other. Greg's talking, I go, I didn't hear that. And then I start talking and he goes, I didn't hear that. I said, we're in the same room. Like, Dibna was able to talk to both of us off the one stage. That's amazing. Who can do that? Like, I was in awe of them. So we went to boot camp. Platinum come up. So we're signing up to that too.
That was 4 weeks later.
And just to give you an idea of Party Central, we're doing boot camp and we're driving home from Randwick. So we've got an hour or so to drive home and everyone knows the peg in the sand. Well, we had to do all this work and we treated this like our university degree. We came into this serious. And I said to Greg, whatever we have to do, we're going to do it. We're going to do everything. Because you can't half do anything. You can't put your toe in and go, I'll do that and I'm not going to do it. Yeah, we didn't do it. We just went. So I drove while Greg read. And we're writing down things. And we get home and our daughter and I'll call in my son-in-law. He's pretty close to marrying my daughter, I hope.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. I just added another 6 months delay, unfortunately. But anyway, so Cassandra's having a birthday, bit of a celebration at our house. And when we arrive, everyone goes, "Here's Party Central, let's have a drink, let's get into it." And I go, "Hi guys, have a good time. Do as much fun as you want. We've got to go upstairs and do our homework." And everyone just looked at us and went, "What
They
are you
thought we'd been
doing?"
to a drug cinema, I think.
So anyway, so we went up and did it, and then that's where my daughter and son-in-law started to watch the change in us, and then our hearts started to open.
Yourself. Yep, do it for yourself and then pass it on.
And that's all I can say, because the amount of people were starting to watch us, and then every time we went to a one-dayer, here's Karen and Greg and our little tribe of people that were following us.
And as Karen said, we treated it like a university degree. Over the course that we did Platinum and then Platinum following again and Quantum, we did these concurrently. So we were at events
All the
pretty
time.
much nearly every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Just about as much as me.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty
Almost
much.
as much.
Because even though we had knowledge, and as Dipner said, you're dangerous. And we were dangerous.
We were.
And we needed to corral that and put those energies and knowledge into the right directions.
Yep.
And that's
I think
why.
in those first 3 years you went to 10 boot camps
Yes.
Yes.
with all of
absolutely.
your mates.
I went to
Yes.
9, Greg went
Yep.
to 10, I missed 1.
Yep.
But we were doing, we were arriving at Platinum when we had to do our Platinum up at the Gold Coast, and we were doing the boot camp. So we're doing 3 days and then we're doing 2-day Platinum. We were just at everything, and it's having the people around you that's so important. That is the most important thing, because we have a great group of people that we meet up with regularly, and everybody in that room is doing something. That is the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
You can't sit back.
Consistency.
Yeah, you've got to do it.
So these are some of the properties that you'd done I Love Real Estate.
Yes.
You'd done okay. You'd done well. You'd accumulated assets. Not a lot of income coming from them.
No.
But,
No.
you'd done okay.
If the slide before, could you just go back, Tipner? See the one with no front yard?
Yep.
That's our house, right? That is our current PPR. This is my dream home. And see how there's no lawn, no nothing? Do you put your money in that, or do you put it in what we went and started to do? Now, the neighbours probably don't like us. We call it Ayers Rock.
I call it Ayers Rock.
Yeah. But you've got to remember where you're going to put your money, what's going to make your money for you.
So what happened then?
Well, this was, would like to say this doesn't happen to anybody, but this was a
This
property.
is your first go. This is your first go.
This is the first one,
No,
getting back into it.
It's quite funny, because my son-in-law is just met our daughter back when they were young, and still are young, and he came home and he's buying his first house and land package. That lit the volcano in Greg and I again, because all of a sudden we're going, we've lost all this money in business and been ripped off. Let's get back into property, which is where we made our money. So, Jarrod started the ball rolling and we just took off. And our first back into it was this particular property.
Exactly. At this time we were buying land and we were putting house and land packages on them. And we'd bought 4 at this particular time. This was all within a 2-week period. This was the first one, and then we're into the build, and then the morning, we have to go and pick the keys up. I said to Greg, I'll go and pick them up, because he had something he was doing. And I arrive at the house and I could see all this water on the road, and I'm going, what's going on? I'm thinking, and all of a sudden I look at the front door and it's like a river coming out of the front. Now we're picking the keys up that morning, and all of a sudden I can't get hold of Greg. I've rung Jarrod and Cassandra. Jarrod comes racing over, and even he felt brokenhearted for me. I'm standing there looking at this waterfall from the roof coming through, and I'm going, we need this sold to pay for the ones that are coming. How the hell are we going to do this? And I'm just sitting there, and I didn't cry. I cry a lot, but I didn't cry. I just stood there like going, OMG, where the hell are we going to go from here? So we're excited about getting back in the property market.
First property, we're in big trouble again.
But insurance comes into gear.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. But that was 12 months of delay.
Yep.
So it was a burst water pipe connection.
Yep. Mhm.
Flooded the complete house. The house had to be completely gutted. Brand new house. And as you can see, that's what it was back to after it was finished.
Yep.
And where we had to take it back to. So
you
that
did
was
another
tough.
one?
Yes. Then we started with building on the other ones. This one was one of 3 that we were doing at the time.
We actually bought a block of land, and I'm very lucky. I've got a very supportive husband, and I put my parents in one of our houses. That is totally negative gear, but you know, it's more for my parents, so it's exciting that they get to live in a nice new home and see out their lives, which is wonderful. So
here's some more of the types of deals that you were doing pre. I love real estate.
Yeah.
So
I think we need to
house and
explain.
lands. You're making okay. You're doing it. You know, you're making some profits. It's going into your PPR.
Yeah.
Eventually,
No, it was going to next deals.
Next deals.
next deals to pay down the debt on your PPR.
Yep.
Your dream home.
Yep.
More deals.
Yeah, how the
more
land
stuff.
came about is it was when the tsunami was hitting.
Yep.
So you would buy your block of land, you would deposit on it, put a little holding deposit, and then you had so long, then you actually had to pay the 10% deposit, and then 12 months later it was registering. So we lined them up. Now, we had absolutely no idea how we were going to finance this. So
Which
this
is
is why we go,
pretty risky.
make a mess. It is risky, but we have a very strong attitude. It'll eventually happen. You just got to put yourself in that position. We did have to hand one back, but you know what? The amount of money we were making, it was okay. So
during that period, that's when we had this get together with Dipner, and we had 4 other properties. And Dipner said, "Well, what can you do with these ones? You're committed to these ones that way." So he said, "Why don't we try and do Duloc?" So then we pushed the boundaries. I'm always one for bending the rules, not break them. We'll always go forward, always take on councils, and won't take no for an answer. So we actually went down the road, and our daughter decided to follow us with these ones. So these are attached granny flats. As you can see, it's under 375. Granny rate referrals are under 450. Well, once you get a lot of knowledge, you start to know things. But then council can get the shits and try to challenge you. Well, we ended up L&E court. We actually won because it was affordable housing set we went under.
you have to know what
you
steps
do.
you're under. You have to know the rules
Exactly.
in order to do
Yeah.
it.
Well,
I wouldn't say anybody go and do this, but we've learnt a lot, right?
It's given us good experience.
It was
What
good
that
experience.
meant was that one change, that one influence meant that you didn't have to sell to get into the next one.
Correct.
It meant you could hold them because the guys had done well, don't get me wrong, but they were selling everything.
Yes.
So it wasn't a big accumulation plan. It wasn't a wealth plan when they joined Platinum.
Absolutely.
So they needed to be able to hold, just like I was talking about this morning.
Correct.
So this started to change, and you
Yeah.
know, look at the increase that we've had because you've been able to hold them, as
That's right.
opposed to making a little bit. You continue to make money.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And allows us then to move on to our bigger passion of where we've been able to go. Along the way, speaking with Dee and some of the other coaches, I'm a bit out there. I will go and do big stuff. I'll look at things. Not an example to follow, as Dipner says, but anyway, some can, some can't. But you'll do what you do at the time. And this was an opportunity, and I just wanted to touch on it for the reason we did end up going through with this. But more importantly, is that this was a deal that finance partners, joint venture partners, got a bit nervous at the end.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of conversation with Dipner. I was dealing with lawyers and so forth. I negotiated this option when we were in Hawaii, flying out, and whilst we were in Hawaii, and we tied it up. And I actually got to negotiate with the owner, who is a pretty big businessman, owns a lot of office blocks here in Sydney, and I negotiated an option where I got my option fee back if certain things weren't met. Well, come April, I had a discussion with Dipner, and the DA come out, and there was 3 things in there that they were nervous about. I knew that we could get round them, but my finance partners didn't want to take that risk. So again, what I'm trying to say to you is that it doesn't matter what it is. You know, things are going to happen, and they will happen. But don't let that be a deterrent to you. That's why I'm saying this. There was a huge amount of opportunity in this one.
You could have made money on the deal, but it was a big deal, and it did tie you up for a
Exactly.
considerable amount
Yep.
of time when all your time and focus is going
Correct.
here, when you could have done 10 other deals.
Exactly.
And we talked about that at the time.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That
And that's why I just
huge.
wanted to mention it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So as you say, the KISS principle.
Yep.
Right?
Keep it simple,
so that's
stupid.
why I want to touch it. Then we
So
come into
then-
our passion.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Because
we moved
income
into,
is the issue, you know.
Yeah.
You're getting older. Don't take that the wrong way. I am too.
Getting old.
we're in the same vintage. We won't talk about numbers.
Same
but yeah.
vintage.
But you need income. You know?
Absolutely.
You don't want to continue to be relying on a bank as you get older to get loans, to get into the next deal,
Yep.
to make money. So you need that passive income. And that's where your turning point was here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I was very committed about turning that passive income in, and really good passive income. So we got very much educated in new generation boarding houses.
Yeah,
That's
this
Dipner
is
and
where
a number of people that know us know that's where the space we play in today. And this is one that's currently under construction. That last slide to the right is last Friday. We're
Great.
we're actually even being innovated in construction how we're doing this.
We're giving birth to a new baby.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
exciting.
And I was up there on Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and it's really moving along. But more importantly is the fact that we're helping solve the affordable, I'm not going to say housing, but the affordable for not just everyday people, but for services people, nurses, doctors, those kind of firemen and so forth, that go on employment assignments. You keep hearing it in the media all the time. They've got to travel so far and from their employment areas. So this is where we started to get our head around that space. And as Dipper said, we've got some ones we're going to hold, but these are the ones that we're focusing now. We'll still do the others, no, absolutely. And we're doing some JV deals with other people still. And coming back to that...
Hang on, we've got to highlight that. Did you hear JV? We are now actually got our hearts open. So now we do work with people. So that's a huge thing, because that was a massive step for us, because, you know, when you come from where we've just come from, the last thing you want to do is get burnt again. So, you know, what we did,
trust.
yeah, you said take your eye off us and put it on other people, and that's been a big change for us.
Absolutely. And they're just all some notes about, you know, you've got to just make sure you've got a good team around you, you've got the knowledge, and you get it yourself. So then our second one is with JV Partners, which is...
And they're decent size too.
it's a big
Yeah.
They're
one.
decent sized deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And then the third one, I just wanted to put that up there. That one hasn't gone ahead because we had the perfect under all the legislation, and I had all the consultation with the council, and then council staff go to water. Councillors go to water. I addressed them. I did everything. I had somebody come and speak on our behalf to support us. We had 241 objections. This, when people are uneducated, they thought we were going to be housing druggos. We're going to be doing this and that. People just don't get and this is what Dipner was talking about before, in fringe areas and spaces and so forth. You step out of it, you will make a difference, and that's what we're doing. So bottom line is we wanted to go to L&E Court, and this is just another lesson with JV Partners. They got nervous. They didn't want to go there. We had been there. We would afford it. We would have won. But you've got to respect where your partners are as well. So
that's a big factor.
we walked away from it. Then we tried to look for the other solution on it. It didn't stack up. And this is what Dipner talks about. You've got to be prepared to be able to move on.
Yeah.
So we walked away, and we've now sold that site. We did a subdivision. We come out of it. We didn't lose money. We didn't make any money. However, there was a lot of lessons learnt from it. And you know what? I'm moving on to other areas
Next
now.
one. Yeah. Next
So,
one. That's
absolutely.
Yeah,
Which is
next,
why
next,
multiples
next,
along
next.
the way are important.
Yep.
So it's about taking action. You know, more important things in property, I think, with you guys is family.
Yes.
And your family extends to your immediate friends as well,
Yes,
as that you
yes.
consider to be family,
Yep.
and helping them out through
Yep.
this process as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big, and you talk about different functions, going through all the different ones that Dipner runs. Millenial was in, we went along and we're sitting there with everybody.
2016.
And for the first time I realised I'm a rescuer. I'm going, oh my goodness, all I want to do is make everybody happy, and you know, some people just want to drown, just
It was
let
like a
them
road
go,
train,
you know?
both of us.
It really showed us that we can't help everybody.
And as Dipner says, some people don't want to be rescued.
Yeah, they like living in their shit.
Called the art of allowing.
Yes.
The art of allowing.
Yeah, they like to go, how bad life is and everything. So, anyway.
So you're focused now?
As what you basically spelled out a little while ago. Review where you're at, recommit to yourself, look at where you're going. 2020 beyond is opportunity.
Massive.
Oh, we're excited.
Totally on the same page of where Dippman's coming from. We've got pipeline developments in the program at the moment, so it's finalising those, and we're doing those with JV partners. So again, we've learned to trust again.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoops,
whoa,
whoops.
whoa,
Went
whoa.
crazy on the thing. So
Yeah.
this was your starting position, and you know you'd done okay. You had $700,000 worth of equity in your properties. You owned a number of properties.
Yep.
But the issue, of course, was cash flow, and you just
Correct.
couldn't continue to do that without selling. You weren't in the accumulation phase.
Yep.
Yep. So when we refocused-
$177,000 worth of passive income isn't too bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very excited about that.
Exactly. And it's like what you say, is how much do you want? And I remember when you said in Peg and Sand, write down what you want. And each and every one of you would have been at the boot camp and said that. And I bet everybody's challenged in what that figure is, right? I can only encourage you, you know what that figure is, but be realistic to yourself
Yeah,
about
don't be
that.
silly about it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we won't stop there. We'll keep going. But, you know, that's what it is. People say, when are you going to retire? I'm already retired in the sense of that I get to choose what I do.
And you do what you love doing, which happens to be property.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'll never stop doing it.
Yeah.
And that's why Karen continues to teach tennis, because you love it.
I love it. Yeah, I can't give it up. I've sat with Dipner and I said, you know,
You don't
I
have
probably
to.
could, but I really do enjoy it. So, you know, I love being around people and everything. So it's good from that.
And the I Love Real Estate family. I mean, I think this is something
Yep.
that's underestimated, particularly at the higher levels of I Love Real Estate and Platinum and things like that, the ability to have lifelong mates that are non-religious, jurisdictional, non-anything, just come together because you have a common interest and you have a genuine want to support each other.
And that is really big because obviously our daughter and son-in-law have been following us, or not following us, they were doing it as well, but they just
being
had
encouraged
to
further.
learn the asset protection and everything like that. But their friends today are through the I Love Real Estate and community. We're called the property parents. That's our nickname in our group of people that we know. We hang out with the young ones, which is exciting. We've got a few here today. And, you know, we're so proud of what they have done as well.
Yeah,
and they're
they should
young,
be.
you know. So we encourage them to work hard and do it smartly. You know, they don't have to work as hard as what Greg and I did in the corporate worlds and all that type
Well,
of
they
thing.
don't have to make the mistakes.
Correct.
Because they can learn from yours.
They can learn, yeah.
And they can learn from mine.
We've made heaps of
Can
them.
I just comment on that? I remember Jarrod saying to me about four years ago, he said, between his father and myself, being us, and he said, you know, I've got all the best protection. I've just got to put it into action. He said, because I'm going to be able to watch and not do the same mistakes because you're not going to allow me to make mistakes. They will
right.
make some mistakes, yes.
Yep.
And they've made a couple. That's what you've got to do.
Yep.
But major ones,
Yeah.
and that's what you want for your
And
kids.
I think, as I said when I brought you guys up here, I think the genuine desire for any parent is to see their kids excel. And,
Absolutely.
You know, and be amazing. And I think you guys, by working on yourself and putting yourself in the position, you've been able to do that. So what I might do is actually bring your daughter and future son-in-law
Yep, future.
up here. You happy to have that?
Absolutely.
So you guys have a seat, and let's bring the kids up. So Jarrod and Cassey, where are you guys? Oh, here they are. Come on up, guys. Hello, Del. So you're the product of all the foundation of the parents and all of that kind of stuff. And I really wanted to show the two-generational process and just what a difference it makes. Because I want you to be inspired about what a difference you can make by doing things for yourself and then being able to pass it on, whether it be to kids or whether it be to family, friends, etc., because you can make that kind of difference, as the older kings have with the younger kings.
Yes.
Well, almost kings. The Morleys now, perhaps. So tell me about you two.
Well, Jarrod and I have been together for 8 years, so we've done our whole property journey together as a couple. So I was 17 when I met Jarrod, and then, you talk.
Yeah.
I get nervous public speaking, so this is a big
That's
thing
all
for me to be
right.
up here.
So yeah, we've been together a long time. First block, 2008.
I was 19 when I bought my first property. I left school. I had a lot of problems when I left school. My cousin was killed. So when I met Jarrod, I was not in a good mind frame. I was still trying to decide what I wanted to do in my life. I was going down event coordinating. I was going to be leaving Australia. I was going to New York. That's what I wanted to do. Jarrod then came into my life, and on our first date, he was trying to win me over. He took me to his first block of land, and we sat out the front, and he listed all the dreams that he wanted from his life. And I was like, I'm going to keep this one. And from there, our whole journey started pretty much.
Yeah, that's right. We've had a lot of exciting property deals, a lot of hard ones that, had their ups and downs.
Well, we'll get into them.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were fresh. You started with not a lot, but, buy a block of land, build a house, move on, do the next thing.
Yeah.
For building up like your parents had taught you as well. So your position pre was that who had a few houses? One of you? You
Both
had your
of
block of
us.
land? You both had a couple?
Yeah. So before we met Dipner, I had done about 4 deals. Jarrod, we lost count. We don't have enough fingers or toes to keep count.
But you kept them or sold them?
I sold everything, to be honest.
And not in structures?
No.
Not in structures. So, we did well out of them, but we just didn't have the setup properly.
And you weren't accumulating?
No, we were just, there's a bit of money, let's take it and buy the next one and buy the next one. And
That's what you sort of do when you're young. You don't think about the passive income. You go, what can we do to get the money quick? And then most people would go, let's buy a car and this and that. Jarrod was like, no, we're going to buy another property.
Yeah.
We didn't go on a date for 2 years because we had no money. Our date was which parents' house we're going for dinner because we're broke. But we worked 7 days a week. We were both working for his dad at that stage, and we were just trying to do whatever we can. And in the end, we were like, property's it. And then by the age of 22 and 26, we bought our PPR. This was our dream home. I know we got it young, but...
Your dream home.
Well, my dream home. But now that all the stuff we did allowed us to buy this house. So we were the youngest residents in Harrington Grove to buy.
You sound like my children. They bought all these great properties, and they're the youngest one ever. They're all 30 years older
When
than
we went to sign the land, they were like, you're the youngest. And I go, and who's the oldest? They go, they're 96. I said, wow, that's a big gap. So once we got our house, we were like, nah, we need to keep going. We have such big dreams and goals. Then we went shopping. So as my parents had said previously, I followed along with the attached house and granny flat. It was nerve-wracking because I was following their guidance because I had only just met Dipner. We just joined the program. We were going through all the courses. We did every course in 12 months. We went every weekend, we were doing this or doing that. We wanted to get as much knowledge as quick as possible because we weren't doing things right. We had no
at this
asset
stage,
protection.
you're the grand old age of?
22, 23.
Okay.
This is the one I told her you're on your own. If
Yeah.
you're going against the council, I'm out.
So Jarrod was out. So I was fighting this on my own and I was like, wow, okay, I'm on my own. I've got to prove a point.
Yeah.
Don't ever make me do that because I will want to prove a point to say that I was right and he was wrong.
Yeah.
So you picked up some positive cash flow, which meant you could keep them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
picked up a couple $100,000
Yeah.
on each of the properties, positive
Yeah.
cash flow. So this is stuff I was talking about this morning. Then you're going, okay, let's just do a duplex, which gives you the security of title.
Yes.
Sure. So we built these ones as well. So we changed our whole strategy. Like we were just tendering out to builders, letting them build, but they were taking too long, costs were blowing out. So we thought, let's just do the building as well. We'll cut one out.
So you got a
There's
builder's
margin.
license?
Yeah, so we've got the builder's license now. So These are our second sets third sets that we
Jarrod
built.
decided to go on a shopping spree, as he likes to do. He's buy as many properties as possible and will worry about how to build them and finance them later. He likes to make me go grey, pretty much. So
That house, someone proposed in last week.
yes.
They've
So-
got the keys last week and they proposed to their partner in their last. So that was exciting for us. We took the video and stuff for
So
them.
as you can see, like, these are making good profit.
Yeah.
But they're not good enough for us. So we were going to keep some of these, and then we're like, nope, we're going to start again and wipe and start a new strategy.
These were actually all bought when the medium density housing code was supposed to come in and then supposed to come in and still supposed to come in, but it might not.
So we've got a lot of properties here, all
Yes.
similar types of things, new builds, some with JVs, some not with JVs.
Yeah.
And what age are you pair now?
29
and 26.
But
Okay.
these were also all sold after the big drop we just had in the pricing. So all were bought pre-drop and sold during the drop.
Still make profits.
Yeah.
So we still ended up in front, but not where we initially pegged to be.
We showed you some good deals and some bad deals.
So then you went in for something a little bit bigger.
So
Yes.
this site's probably the most important site for me in property, not because it made money. This is where I lost my love for property altogether.
Yeah.
Like I completely
Not
fell
what
out.
I want to hear up here, but anyway.
This is pre-Dipner, so this is where I lost my love for property.
Oh, okay.
So the background is I bought this with my best friend. He passed away halfway through the site, and then that was the end of it for me. I was like, this is... And then we met yourself, and then we got the spark going again. So that's the biggest for
We had
me.
this deal should have been done in 12 months. It's now still going. It's been 4 years. We learn a lot in this deal. It's very important who you pick your JVs with, because for the unforeseen circumstances, when we lost our business partner, we had to deal with his family, and it hasn't been as easy, but we're getting there, and you're dealing with challenges. We didn't sell anything on this block for 12 months because we were all grieving. So this is a very important deal to us because of what it holds in our heart, but we've learnt so much from it, and now going forward we know how to do it different.
And the trust structures in this
Yes.
were like a handshake.
Yeah. Oh.
Because me and my friend
Yeah.
did a lot of properties together, and I never had to talk to his dad, so all the properties were very smooth and easy. And then once he wasn't there, the old man was a little bit different.
Yes.
But anyway.
Okay.
This one, unfortunately, we have actually done with some people in the community, and we wanted to put this one up there. It's not the best profiting one,
the worst one.
This is the worst deal we've ever done. And the reason it is when we went to put it on the market is when the market went down. That should have had a 1 in front of it. So
But it's still a profit.
it's still a profit, and that's what we said. The people that were in the JV with us, this was their first ever deal. All they wanted to do was learn from us, and we were like, the learnings you'll get from this deal, you'll make more money on the next ones, because they will be able to go off and do this themselves now and learn from it.
So then the other ones are more in line with,
Yeah.
the profits that you're making there. So,
Yeah.
$180,000 there. Bigger one on the next one. So you've got all these deals coming on. You're obviously very active. How many deals would you do a year?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Personally, 12 or 10 or 12, I guess.
10 or 12
we
deals?
worked it out in the 8 years we've been together for ourselves and for clients, because we opened a business where we would help the clients, so they'd just pay us a fee and we'd just look after and run the deal. We've built over 100 homes and we're young. So
Yeah, you are young.
for people to... It really is a tough thing when people say young people can't get into property. Yes, they can. They just got to know how to do it. So,
The only missing link there is education.
yes, education.
True.
Yeah, and when the parents learn, then it was automatic education for the kids, which is
Yes.
you had a good start there. So you're doing over 55 villages there, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a personal deal. I don't have any partners in that one. Just my dad's with me, but
Right.
yeah. So that's an exciting one. That's a learnings after.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, we're doing 12 2-bedroom over 55s. I'm not sure if we'll keep them or sell them. More than likely
Do
keep
the
the
numbers.
majority.
The numbers will say.
Yeah.
More than likely keep the majority.
Our strategy really changed. If you had met me back in 2016, before Dipner and everything, I was shy. I knew nothing about property. I just used to follow and go now. Now, I love to challenge you. So we always are like trying to push each other to see what we can do next. And Jarrod said, let's open a building company. And I was like, let's do it. So we opened our building company in May this year. So we have been doing a lot of builds for people in the community, JVing as well with them. So we tried to knock the builder out because that's where we have no control. They go, you're in the system, it will take you this long to build your house, where at least we can control the build time, which means then we can sell it quicker, make more money, all that type of a thing.
We
So-
opened in September 17, but to the
To
public,
public in May.
was May.
Very
And
good.
So
And you've won an award, I see.
yes, so we opened
Yep.
to the public in May, and by the end of June, we won Best New Outstanding Business in the Camden area.
Very good.
We also now are categorised as a major builder. So
Yeah.
Wow.
that was a quick jump.
We
from
did our 3-year goal in 6 months.
Yeah.
We are kicking goals as anything. And the thing with our building company is we do the development side with our clients. So we actually JV with some of our clients as well, because that's what we love to do. We love properties. So it's all about helping and guiding people. A lot of people don't know how to do property and deals. So it's really rewarding for us to be able to show people how we've done money and made it and all this, and then they can now go on and do what they want to
So
do.
your final figures here are pretty impressive. You know, the profit figures there across the deals that you've done, $1.8 million at the under 30.
Yeah.
And the ones that you're keeping, you've got passive income as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last 3 years.
That's the last
Or
3
2.5,
years. It was
yeah.
too hard for us to go back and try and figure it all out. We've lost count.
Yeah, fair enough too. You know, I've been sitting here listening to you guys, and I can see through the pair of you, the proud parents sitting over there, you know, a few tears coming down with pride. And I really, really wanted to showcase you guys first because I love real estate as a family, but the influence you can have with your own family and your own friends is massive. And
Yeah.
congratulations,
Thank
guys.
you.
Congratulations to you two over there.
Thank
Give
you.
them all a big, big round of applause.
Thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.
Dee, I'd just like to say one thing if I could. I just want to say you're an amazing woman, an amazing lady, and I just want to say thank you, and everybody in this room owes a lot to you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dale.
Love you.